Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Hey friends, and welcome back to another episode of Genuine Business Stories, where we have real front porch chats that inspire success. I'm your host, Clint Strom, and today we're talking with Michelle, the owner and publisher of Magnolia City Lifestyle. This brand new hyper-local publication is a part of a national network known for celebrating luxury living, local stories, and high-quality content. This publication and how this platform will spotlight the best of our community will also dive into what makes the right sense and the right time for local business to get involved with Magnolia City Lifestyle. Good morning, Michelle. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Hey, we are excited to have you. I want to hear about your story.
Yeah.
So, hey, tell us a little bit about you and your background and what led you to where you're at here.
Yeah, sure. So I'm from Maryland originally. My whole family is up there. My husband is from Houston, and right out of high school, he went to play baseball at the Naval Academy. The Naval Academy is in Annapolis, Maryland, which I highly encourage everyone to visit. It is just like the movies. It's a beautiful town. In his junior year, which feels like a million years ago, a friend of a friend was like, Michelle, you got to meet this guy. So fast forward 15 years, we did 10 years in Florida. Zach was in aviation, served as an officer, and then he did his MBA at Rice.
Thank you to your husband for his service.
Yeah. He had a great 10 years, and selfishly, I got 10 years in Florida. So I'm very happy with that. But no, he's from Houston, and just like every true Texan, he told me when we were dating, hey, if you're in this for the long haul, I'm getting back to Texas. We're going to raise our family in Texas. And so about 5 years ago, when he finished his MBA and finished his contract with the Navy, we moved back here to Houston. And more recently, 2.5 years ago, we moved to Montgomery. So we are in Grand Lake Estates.
So what brought you up to Montgomery?
Up to Montgomery. So we moved originally back to the Atascocita area. He travels for work, so being close proximity to the airport was nice. Then we started thinking about long-term life, kind of getting out of the military mindset, not moving every 3 years. Where do we want to be? We are blessed to have 2 baby boys, and having that second baby boy, something spark lit in Zach, and he found the right house for us to move into, Grand Lake Estates. I didn't even walk it. He said, Michelle, you're going to love it. I just know it. I can picture these little things running in that backyard. Never mind, it's also on a golf course, so he's happy.
Good.
Yeah, the stars aligned. We have some families in that neighborhood, and even in only 2 short years, it feels like home. We have friends that we can call if you get a flat tire. If I get bored, I can take my machine down to Marissa's house and have a drink. So all the kids run around, and that's kind of the American dream. That's what you hope and pray for. And Grand Lake Estates in the Montgomery area has offered us that. And yeah, it's only been 2 years, but it feels like a lifetime.
In Montgomery County, throughout our areas out here, it's one thing that has not changed much.
Yeah.
And that is still, people are going to tell you hello when they see you.
They are.
Even if they don't know you, most people are pretty friendly.
Yep, that's exactly right. We feel it for sure. Very happy.
So before launching Magnolia City Lifestyle, what were your career experiences?
Okay, so I am a project manager by trade, if you can believe it. I started working right out of high school, was working for a manufacturing company up in DC, wearing a hard hat, steel toe boots, running jobs that guys my dad and grandfather's age were the subs on it, so that was fun. Meeting Zach and becoming a military wife through a little bit of a curveball. But I have always worked in project management that then led me into workers' compensation for quite a few years. And just like many people who fall into insurance, I didn't know eventually I would land in insurance. In the last 7 years, I built a insurtech startup personal lines agency that has been wildly successful. And with that career sort of changing, Magnolia City Lifestyle fell into my lap. So corporate background, project management, always been working. I've got that Northeast hustle in me, very type A. So this has been different. This is a nice little pivot, but yeah, I got a really long resume that's afforded me a nice professional background.
So tell me, when you moved here from DC, did you get culture shock?
Okay, I would say when I visited my husband the first time before we moved, because we did the 10 years in Florida was a different level of culture shock. First time meeting my mother-in-law and her friends and their studded jeans and boots. I mean, I'm in boots today, and if you would have told Michelle 15 years ago that she'd be wearing custom gator boots, I would have been like, who's that girl? But I feel very adjusted to the South, and 10 years in Florida eased me into it. But it's definitely a different way of living. I've even slowed down how fast I talk. I've gotten a different level of patience that you don't typically get in the Northeast.
You know, it's funny. We go nowhere fast, but we are not a patient group of people either.
Yeah, that's
when
true.
we want, I'm sure you've seen doing business. When we want something, communicate, or that nice Southern charm goes to, Michelle, you told me you'd have me this a week ago.
Well, your word is everything. And I think it's ever apparent in the South and especially in Texas. I mean, integrity, your word is everything, right? And so that is also, though, where such a great group of businesses do exist, because high integrity, you can trust their word. You get to know the owner, you get to know the owner's wife, the family, their story. So that is ever apparent, especially in this area. But to your point, I mean, your word is your word. That's all you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us, we need that little slower pace, at least in our mind, because we can see woods that seems to be a slower pace. So what drew you personally to Magnolia, Montgomery, the market that you're in, the magazine?
Yeah. So City Lifestyle is a corporate entity. They're based out of Kansas City, Missouri. They are a faith-based company. So the first thing that won me over is that it is rooted in great Christian values, strong Jesus follower presence. So it was nice to talk to a corporate organization that still anchored their roots in those morals and values. And a couple markets in this area opened up. So it is a franchise model. And so in looking where I'm at, with Montgomery being straight in the middle of Conroe and Magnolia, and then also being a transplant, if you will, not from this area originally, the opportunity to build the publication in Magnolia felt like a calling from where I am, right? So these families that are going to be moving to Magnolia, that are buying their forever home, that are relocating to a new area, all of the growth that's expected and we're going to see in the next couple of years in Montgomery and Magnolia, I feel personally connected to that. Because when I moved up here, it was like, okay, well, who can I use for landscaping? What church do I want to go to? Where should I go to get my hair done? Where can I take my kids for pediatric dentistry? So starting over, which we did often in the military, but starting over from a place of, this is my forever home. This is where we're going to grow up. These are the businesses that we're going to become patrons of and really trust for whatever service it is. Thinking about this publication being a source of truth and trust for these families that may be newer to the area felt so natural and a calling for what I've gone through as well, moving to the area. So that's what really attracted me to it. And knowing how much growth is coming to the area, it's just a great way to make sure the right businesses are spotlighted.
So do you interview the businesses before you agree to let them advertise with you?
I do. So I'm the owner of this publication, which means it's my responsibility cover to cover for everything that is represented or featured. That's inclusive of the content that goes out, making sure that it's an accurate representation of that story in our area, but as well as the advertisers, making sure that they are a right fit for, again, our morals, our values, and what we expect in this luxury, high elevated customer service cover to cover. So yes, I'm in the vetting and interviewing stage. It is not, anyone that wants to throw an ad in there can. And then there's quality control and standards around even what's represented in the ad. So we want to make sure that our homeowners can truly trust this publication every month as it arrives in their mailbox. And a part of that is my responsibility and who gets in.
So when you started exploring this opportunity, do you remember the aha moment? This is what I need to do. this is what I feel called to do. And
Yeah, my aha moment was when I prayed about it, and as much as I tried to talk myself out of it, more things said yes. And my aha moment was at my first networking event, hearing other business owners give their first 30-second elevator pitch on what they do. Hearing that there are generational organizations, there are veteran-owned businesses, there are women who are first-generation entrepreneurs. It has been overwhelming how many good people are in this area. And my aha moment was listening to other businesses pitch what they do and how they want to serve. That's what tied it all together and said, Michelle, this is how you can have a version of serving the community and bringing this network of individuals together.
so what sets Magnolia City Lifestyle apart from other local media outlets?
Yeah. So we're slightly different in we are comprehensive of the territory. So we are not unique to one neighborhood. We will make sure that we represent all neighborhoods, but we are different in that our footprint spans all the way up Aggie Freeway and even is going to pull into Bryan. And we distribute our publications not subscription based. So the print material is actually delivered to homes valued $500,000 and above and 400 businesses. I have a personal hand in what that mail route looks like. And so it's different in that we are 50% content. And even though the distribution of it is backed by a big corporate company in Missouri, everything cover to cover is local. Every story is going to be based out of a partner, a family or business owner here in Magnolia or Montgomery, and every advertiser is local. So it's a big national platform. So you've got great business continuity and quality controls in place because of that corporate backing. But me as the local owner, the publication itself is representative of the community, and that elevates it quite a bit.
So tell us a little bit about the benefits that you have when you decided to team up with a national networked corporation. Then tell me kind of how they give you support and where you still have the autonomy to run the magazine, but kind of let us know what they give, because that's going to add value to your customers and your businesses, is having national backing to.
Yeah. So 3 things come to mind, and I would say firstly, everything that's printed physically, our team at corporate quality checks cover to cover. So misspellings, making sure that it's kind of on theme for that month, and making sure that everything is not pixelated and it's all represented in a very clean, luxurious cover to cover print. They have strong print partners and they do the distribution. I don't have to worry about any of that or manage any of the physical printing. They also flip everything into a digital format. So the corporate, I would say, actual production is, for me as a business owner of this publication, is huge because I don't have to worry about that. I get to have the joy and honor of focusing solely on content and what businesses are featured, right? So I would say the 2 things that the businesses have a benefit with City Lifestyle is citylifestyle.com has their own Google traffic and website traffic. So every issue, every article, every blog is also replicated on the City Lifestyle website. So businesses are going to gain SEO, SEM traffic that they're not paying for in all of that digitized media that they don't have to spend on, right? So we're flipping it all for online content for them to reference, repurpose, post, share without a cost and expense to them. And then secondly, for businesses, City Lifestyle can actually design the ads. We're the ones that send the writer and the photographer to create articles, and they can also augment social media and some other Google traffic and social media ads if the business is interested in that. So for the businesses that are interested, we can completely replace any of their PR, marketing, and media, leveraging what City Lifestyle has built at corporate. And that all starts, though, in trusting me to represent them correctly here in the community. So all around, it's a huge win for myself, for the business owners, and for the representation of this area backed by a corporate platform.
So what can your readers expect in the first couple of episodes? What kind of articles are they going to see? What type of business spotlights?
So the first few are obviously all of our founding partners. So my founding partners are those businesses that launch with me. So it's likely going to be a coalition of 10 to 12. And so the first couple issues are focusing on the families. So we're going to feature, a husband and wife duo, owner of a business, and talk about what this has meant for them with a call to action of, hey, those readers, here is how you can help. Here is a nonprofit that's near and dear to them. Here is an event that they're having. So what we want to do is encourage readers not only to say, okay, cool, now you know who owns that storefront, but rather, what experience can you expect if you go there? How can their products or services help you? So readers will now gain a direct access to a network of trusted businesses, and they'll understand how those businesses got started. They'll understand, what locations they have, what events they're running. If a portion of their proceeds go to a certain nonprofit, you really get to know what's behind these storefronts or these social media business accounts, who you're really doing business with, and where you should go to source some of your services.
So what are some of the types of businesses that you would really like to see?
Yeah. So the heartbeat of the program really does come down to, I would say, like 3 core areas, and that's going to be your home services. So it's getting the right custom pool builder and backyard partner. It's the right realtor. Every month we have a realty report, which is like an economic overview of recently sold homes and how the market's moving. So we want to have a trusted realtor that is the source of that data. And then outside of home services, it's in the medical space. So we are going to have the best of the best pediatrician, the best of the best, functional medicine, the best of the best med spa. It's industry limited in that I'll only have 2, maybe 3 partners in each space. It will not be flooded with 50 realtors, and that's all you've got. But we want to make sure that we represent home services, professional services, and then any medical needs. So that way people like me who aren't from here, they have a source of truth of where to start if they're not sure, what dentist they should take their kids to, or what physical therapy practice is the best in the area.
So how do you balance your luxury stories and showcasing that and also showcasing the businesses?
Yep. So that is one of the benefits of having our quality team at corporate. And so they ensure that all of our editorial pieces are high resolution imagery, very, very luxurious in nature, easy to read, real stories, and balancing that with partner ads or call to actions on how to get involved with the businesses. So there is a strict requirement cover to cover that it's 50% content and 50% advertising. So out of the 36 pages, it won't be 30 pages of just business billboards, right? So as you move through the magazine cover to cover, it's a story verse and, right next to a feature of a business. It's a recipe next to, a realtor promoting their business. And we have anchor pieces where our readers are going to stop. They're going to read the calendar of events. They're going to read the realty report. They're going to read the recipe. And it's our premier partners that then are going to be on the other side of that page. So you've got the anchor piece adjacent to a premium ad. And that's what helps you flow through and move through the magazine and absorb a mix of content and advertising as well.
What's been your biggest challenge in launching your magazine?
You're catching me at a really early time, so we're just starting. I would say my biggest challenge is trusting the businesses that I want to go into business with. This is not City Lifestyle Headquarters produces this. My name is in it. There's a letter from me every single month. So I feel the weight of the responsibility of finding the right businesses.
So let's talk about your letter. What type of what comes to your mind when you put the letter together for each episode?
Yeah. So I think I'm most excited for the launch issue, so the first publication, which should be November. There will be a letter from me speaking about my why, right? So why do I want to produce this magazine? Who in the world am I? Like, does Michelle even know what she's talking about? And every month it's a custom letter from me, written by me, about what the reader can expect in that issue.
Show your boots in the first episode.
I know.
You'll be fine out there in Montgomery County.
Show that I'm officially a Texan. Can't keep calling myself a Northeasterner. But this is personal. I own it. The success or failure of it is on me, and so I think just as any business owner, it's making sure that you are doing business with the right people, and that a year from now, you can still see where this grows and you're adding value to, for me, the readers. I'm adding value to the community. How can I make sure that I'm giving back to the community? How can any events that I put on have a call to action for serving a nonprofit? Or can my event also have an association, where we can work with a food bank? So I think about what this can be, and it's more than just a print copy that shows up in a mailbox, but a call to action of, here's a business you can help. Here's a nonprofit you can help. Here's ways to serve right here in the community. And that's probably the heaviest, I wouldn't say burden, but the heaviest kind of weight and responsibility of stepping into this business.
The one thing that I notice while you talk about your business is your passion, and the fact that it isn't just a business for you. It's something that you care about.
Yeah.
That you care about your community and providing not just a magazine to them, but a valuable service.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
So have you found any hurdles that you went,
Yeah. So this is a little funny. So I'll give you some humor here. The most recent I had was, you've got corporate. I was working with them on the mail route, right? And so trying to show them how Magnolia, Montgomery, Conroe, it all, mixes all within itself. And this zip code grabs this part of 1488, but that one ends over there. So it was an interesting, and I had probably my first Texas moment where I was like, you're not from Texas. You don't understand it. So it ended up being a silly conversation with the distribution team. But as I was pushing the footprint of where this print is going to go and pushing it up into Todd Mission and following, Aggie Freeway and talking about College Station, I had a moment where I was like, man, I'm fully Texan right now, talking to non-Texans. And that was an interesting.
And part of what's hard, I think, for them to understand, at least where I lived at for a couple of years close to Kansas City, they did a fantastic job of almost everything tying into their little towns or a grid.
Right.
Where in Texas, it is roads to get to anything and everywhere, and they might cross and then come back. So when you're looking at our landscape here, their landscape as far as city planning, it's really clean, and it's fairly easy. Here's Johnson County, here's, and as they start going through, you come here and you're going, how is Harris County down here where Montgomery County should be, and then Montgomery's over here where Waller County should be? I mean,
and every road has a numerical name to it, and sometimes it's got another name, and sometimes it hop, skips, and jumps across town. Yeah, it's wild down here.
Well, I was going to ask you how you overcome those challenges, but it sounds like you just went, you're not from Texas.
No, I was like, you're just going to have to trust me because you don't know what you're talking about.
Now your husband's converted you to a Texan. When your answer is, you're just not from here.
Except for football season. So that's probably the only time our household doesn't agree. But other than that, I'd say I'm converted.
So as I read through some of the stuff you sent me, you talked about now is the time. Why is now such a key moment for local businesses?
Yeah, so I would say, firstly, in the Magnolia area, the residential growth we're having year over year is insane. This area is growing like crazy. So it's very key from an impression perspective to partner with like myself and City Lifestyle to say, plant your flag and say, hey, I am here and I am the best landscaping company in the area. So these hundreds of homes that are being built and these families that are stepping into their forever home and that new home, when they consistently see that brand representation and see that is the business that you can trust, that's where it's like wildfire. Then the neighbors are going to talk. These neighborhoods trust each other. The mom groups trust each other. And so what's important is at such a foundational time as we are, is being a part of that catalyst. And so starting this publication was really timely for me while it's hard right now, because it's not like I'm stepping into the Heights or the Woodlands that's completely saturated and there's a ton of businesses to choose from. Now it's looking at who are the movers and shakers, who's opening a storefront or moving their footprint and service area into Magnolia, and how do I partner with them to help them get their brand out there? How do I help them increase their impressions and their readership? So what is equally as nerve-wracking as it is exciting is whoever partners with me now has 100% of my drive and attention to promote their business, promote their story. And so in this vetting conversation that I'm doing right now, it's not just, hey, what's your ad look like and does it look cool? Like, it's not just about your ad. Tell me where you want to be 2 years from now. Tell me where you want to be 4 years from now. Because if you want to grow and you're interested in serving the Magnolia and Montgomery area and these families that are moving here, we should do business together.
So we've somewhat touched on this a little bit, but I think that it sounds like it's a pretty important, integral part of your business, and that's the founders, the founding partners. Tell us a little bit about what you are looking for there with a founding partner, and because as important as that is, I'm sure you've got somewhat of a vetting process of what you're looking for initially, and let's kind of talk about that. And what kind of businesses and and then what you're looking for when I know you're wanting roofers or things that add value. But there's something underlying there of what you're kind of looking for in their character. Something you're going to see in a business. We all do when we're wanting to do business with somebody. We see something when we go there of going, I think I can do business with this person.
Yeah, exactly.
We instantly walk into other businesses and go, not my cup of tea.
Yeah. So it's the founding partners are key. What I am looking for is those that are ready to make a 2 to 3 year commitment to me over and above supplying an ad. I mean, a third page ad, that's wonderful, but I want to talk about the events, right? So my intentions are to have a private event for partners only where we can strategize together about business and the economic growth in the area. But the other 2 events are tied to nonprofits throughout the year. So I want to make sure that these partners understand my commitment is to promote them, their stories, and their business. But equally, I want to hear the interest and commitment of 3 years with City Lifestyle, growing with City Lifestyle, representation at events together, making sure that morally our events are always a service to the community. It's not just an excuse for all of us to get together at a happy hour, but what is that calling? What is that give back, right? So what I'm looking for is pull that thread all the way through to, how can we have a portion of the proceeds go to this nonprofit? How can we team up with a local church and amplify something that, they're promoting as well? So yeah, it's interesting to flip it around and say, from my perspective, who do I want? Because who I want is people that are ready to commit and grow. Because what they're going to get from me is an extension of PR, marketing, and media, where I'm going to be all in on what announcement do you have? What event is upcoming? What are you launching, or what new service are you adding? Let's get the word out there. And just as much as that owner is responsible for the name of their company, I'm going to be an extension of that. So it would behoove me to make sure whoever I'm promoting, I also would use their service, or I would trust, that owner or that business partner too.
So as you just talked about some of the promotions for community growth, what do you see will be part of your magazine, whether it is Bluebonnet Festival or wine tasting in Conroe or art in Magnolia? Because I know with one of our networking groups that we've got an artist that has a gallery back there, so there's a lot of diverse cultural diversity in our community that I don't think a lot of people know about. I mean, I think that, especially being raised out here, I think a lot of times if you think about going to the theater, or if you think about going to a museum or art gallery, you're thinking you've got to go to Houston. And there are businesses like that popping up throughout our community.
Right.
So how do you see that helping with the growth of the community?
Yeah, I think what's interesting is, especially moving to this area, everyone's like, well, where'd you move? And I said, North Houston. Like the Woodlands? I'm like, no, a little more north than that. So what's been great about the Magnolia, Montgomery, and even into Conroe, but this area is showcasing exactly what you said. You don't have to go to Houston. And actually now, no shame on Woodlands, but you don't have to go to the Woodlands. An even better position for Magnolia, which is what really draws me to this area, is with 249 being complete, you actually can push into Bryan. Like there are some great businesses up in Bryan and College Station. that you now have resources and great businesses all within a smaller mile radius, quality business, quality owners, and businesses that have, again, a nonprofit or some other association. So what I'm excited for is showing, I just as an example, we were at Spears Roofing for a networking event. Sycamore Coffee's right on the corner. That's a shopping center back behind big old HEB. So unless you know that they're back there, you're going to be missing out on great coffee, a really cute spot, some of those businesses inside that structure that's Spears Roofing. And there's a whole slew of businesses back there. So there's so many.
I've looked at moving my office back there because it's a pretty cool area.
It's a really cool area. And that's the thing. There's so many pockets of really cool areas. So how do we help show everyone what's in their backyard, what's in their front yard, and what's right down the street? And now we're breaking the kind of habit of, going into Houston or going into the Woodlands. There's so much right here and more that is coming. So I know obviously the rolls at Texas Roadhouse are great, and we're all excited that they're putting a roadhouse in Magnolia. But what I'm more excited about is that first generation entrepreneur who's opening a storefront. The nutrition store who knows a little girl trying to get her cake pop business taken up. Like, there are real companies and people and even children that are starting little pop-up shops that how cool if we could help have a movement to, spend your dollars where it's going to quality businesses, kids that are learning a lesson in finance and business, business acumen. There's just so much in the backyard. And I hope that, we're able to be a great representation of that and a great resource to our readers to say, flip a page, land on a business, and you can trust that person.
That's great. When I came up to the radio station and talked about doing this podcast, the years of having my business, I realized it was other small businesses. It was their stories of the days that you're doing good. It gives you somebody to call and go, my business just had a great week. On the weeks or months that you're going, what is going on? It was other small businesses. And you're right, the diversification as the younger generation gets into business, you can connect them to the community, but the more connected we can get them to the community, I don't think that people fully understand what type of mentorship they need.
Yeah.
Teaching people and working with people in their businesses like I did in another life with opening up insurance companies. When I stopped doing that and opened my own commercial brokerage, that was when the moment was that I went, I've been this part to help people. Now I realize just how much I don't know that I thought I knew. All of a sudden you're going, I'm pretty smart. I can do this. And then business says, I'm going to put you in the ring with Rocky Balboa. And when I hit you, can you get back up? And it's the inspiration that businesses can provide to each other as they connect through the community. I think your magazine can help that because the businesses are local. So as other businesses see that in your magazine and business owners, they'll reach out to see how they can work with them as referral partners or things like that.
To be fair, let's also help remind these business owners to talk about the good, right? So when you're so invested in, and obviously you're personally invested in this success, you're always looking at, well, what's that next obstacle? What's the next thing I need to overcome? What I'm excited for is forcing business owners to take a moment and say, but you just did something really cool. Let's make sure that we feature it. Or you're opening another location. Let's pause for a second and celebrate that. Because again, you're always thinking about, what do I need to improve? Where am I having some shortcomings? It's so easy because you're so invested in the business to just keep chugging along at what's the next thing. So I am very excited at some of those beautiful moments to say, okay, pause, because we're going to celebrate you in a 3-page feature or a front cover or what have you. And really making sure the community knows when there are good things to celebrate, but then when there's also ways to help, right? So if we can draw attention to a business and that helps them finish the month end where it's not as tough of a month as maybe it was looking at first, let's do that. If there's an event coming up that they need help promoting, let's throw it all in. So there's so much power in community and networking. And then a hidden gem in there is forcing people to celebrate, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, the stories.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Audible books, a lot of road time, and I find my mind will put together a TV script in my head as this book is going on,
Yeah.
even to the point where my mind will create what the characters look like.
Yeah.
So I say that to say, your magazine with the stories you share,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think makes those stories so much come to life for readers that grabs their
Yeah.
attention to make them want to go on and let me see what the next story is?
Yeah. So real people. It's real people in our real community. And what I'm excited about is representing the humans behind either that social media account or representing the humans behind that storefront so that, when they're driving down the road and you can get a kolache from anywhere, you pull off because you're like, wait, I remember hearing that story about that owner. And is a kolache? Texans would argue some are better than others. But you start going to a place, into a business, because you're invested in the people that are running it, and their success becomes a story that you're invested in, right? You want to see that shop grow from 1 storefront to 4, or that those owners, because through stories you may know that they struggled with fertility, and you see that they have a baby, and now you're happy for their personal and professional successes because we've represented them in the magazine. And again, you start sourcing all of your needs within the community, and we can stay right here in Magnolia and Montgomery and continue to support the businesses that are here.
So Magnolia has an identity, and as they've grown, that identity starts evolving as more people move in from out of state, from the other side of Houston coming here. How do you feel that your magazine can help influence positively that slow change in identity as the population grows?
Yeah. So firstly, I would say change is good. Change helps us all grow in ways, whether we want to or not. And maybe we didn't know we needed to. I think change is great. So for those that have been in the Magnolia area and have seen all of the change that has happened and is continuing to happen, embracing it is firstly what I hope that the locals of the area can continue to do, and we can celebrate the beauty in that change. What I would say for all of the new readers and those that are moving to the area, there's a reason why they're moving to Magnolia. There's a reason why they are buying that home in Pinehurst, in Todd Mission, in Magnolia, in these areas. And so helping them see that even though you've relocated here, you've moved here, whatever reason that has brought you here, this now is a community that embraces you and welcomes you and has a spot for you and has a seat saved for you. So I want to help it feel like home, because having moved every 3 to 4 years when my husband was in the Navy, moving here and seeing my kids run out on my backyard has really anchored a home. And I know, sure, could we move again? I sure hope not. But I want everyone that moves here that has something that's showing up in their mailbox that says, we've got you. We've got a recommendation. We've got a great business. You're in good hands. You may not know anyone. You may know everyone. But a common thread is, trusted owners, trusted businesses. And then the beauty of city lifestyle is it's anchored in the Christian faith. So again, cover to cover, you'll see that common theme where, our morals and value lies in Jesus. And so everything else is moving money and, making the best of it while we're here.
So what church do you and your husband and family go to?
Yeah, we go to Restoration, so in Wood Forest. I will be partnering with a church or two that's local to Magnolia, so that's yet undisclosed. But I enjoy Restoration, and now it's become a bad habit where my kids know Sunday means church, but then it means the mud playground, because we've started going to the ATV park here in Conroe. And so now the kids kind of get through their prayers really quickly, rush through church because they want to get out in the mud. But Sundays have become our favorite day.
Yeah, my girlfriend and I go to Woods Edge there in the Woodlands.
Yeah.
So tell me, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years from now, what is your hope that businesses and your readers will say about you and your magazine?
Yeah. So thank you for saying about me and my magazine, because it is true. I mean, now this is a representation of me. So it's Michelle, the publisher, every month. It's my personal name out here, shaking hands and making relationships. So what I hope is that 2-3 years from now, I continue to be as proud as I am of what it's not even yet become. So it's really important to me that it is a value add to the readers. It's not a throwaway. They land on any page and they have a pleasant experience or a pleasant, article that they're reading. That is my hope for my kind of selfish needs of it. My hope for the magazine 3-4 years is, firstly, that it's as big as it needs to be, but that it stays local. I am not sitting here saying I hope it ends up being 400 pages every month. I'd rather it be 50 quality pages of quality content that is value add to the community than a 500 page, door stopper. So it's important that we're value add. And what I mean by that is it's a feel good story. It's a business you can trust. It's a success story. It's a celebration or an event coming up. I want it to be something that we all look forward to when it arrives in the mail, or if it's an event that you're attending. If our brand is on it, or if I'm there personally, I want everyone to be excited and know, hey, this is being put on by City Lifestyle, or this is in association with City Lifestyle. I know it's going to be fun. There's going to be something for my kids. There's going to be something for my dog, whatever that type of event is, to be so trusted that everyone looks forward to it wherever that brand is associated or where I'm personally at it, is what my hope would be.
That sounds great. So this is not your first venture into entrepreneurship. Along your journey, what have you learned about being an entrepreneur? Is there anything that has surprised you that you just would not have went, You can see I kind of like,
Yeah. So it ties back to what we said sort of at the top of this episode, and that is integrity with the good and the bad. So in business, and that's going to be true of my pursuit with this magazine. It's certainly true of some of the ventures I've done before. You have to be able to have a tough conversation in a way that's productive. And so what I mean by that is there's going to be good times and bad times. Every business is going to see that. And as a business owner, there may be difficult conversations that are not pleasant. And that could be either with another business partner, it could be with an employee, it could be with an external partner. I think what I've learned is at the end of the day, it's still you delivering a message. And there's still another human on the other side of that. So even though we've got keyboards and phones and video calls and, maybe we're not always physically across the room from someone, being mindful of how someone else may receive that difficult conversation, I think is the biggest thing that I've learned, because the good stuff's good, right? You have a record sales day, you pull off a great event, you launch on time, all the good things are easy to celebrate, but being able to hold on to your own integrity and have a healthy conversation in difficult times has been the biggest thing that I've learned, because like I said at the top, all you have is your word. And even if trajectories are off, numbers are off, maybe you're making a difficult conversation to sunset a service or sunset a location. If you can do that and maintain integrity and honor, grace and respect, even though it's a tough conversation, others are going to respect you all the more because of how you navigate the difficult times.
So with owning a magazine, there are two sides of you I see. You've got the creative side, and then you've got the successful business side. Tell me how you balance the two, because sometimes they don't go hand in hand. They can fight against each other because you've got to be profitable and promote the business. Right. But that creative side is the fun part of the business.
So I would say that's what's interesting about how I came across this. So City Lifestyle approached me, and I'll be honest, I don't have a creative bone in my body. God bless me with boys, because I was not going to be.
You've done a good job adapting them.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a different side of my brain that I haven't had to use, right? So having a project management operations background, it's very process. It's very literal. You got to go A to Z. It's very linear in its nature. So anything operations, project management, numbers, all of that is second nature to me. What's not natural is the creative side. And so what has been fun for me is, again, thinking about this cover to cover. Like, this is something tangibly that I get to produce, whereas building projects and call centers and CRMs, that doesn't feel as tangible. This is something I can hold in my hands. And so it's exciting to think about the creative side of it, because in my career, I haven't had the opportunity to do that, nor have I wanted to, because I don't feel like I'm good at it. But that's where the backing of headquarters helps me, because I know that as I learn about ad dimensions and picture quality and all the other things that I don't even know, But when I start watching that, there's a trusted corporate team that's done it. They have over 250 publications. And so I'm excited to learn from them. It's only going to make me all the more sharper when I am working with these businesses and helping them improve how they're represented in the magazine.
Well, there are a couple of sides of creativity. It's not just what's on paper.
Yeah.
I have now run into you at 3 different events.
Yep.
Your commercials are creative. They get people's attention. So there is somewhat of a side with your personality that makes you good now that you're making that transition into.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, if you see something that doesn't look right, you're going to go back to your national partner and go, I don't like this. Let's move it up.
That's what's made it fun. I mean, I own Magnolia City Lifestyle, right? So there's it's easy for me to pitch something that I own because I trust myself and I know what a partner I can be to these businesses. I know what a resource I can be to who I work with. So there's definitely a level of confidence in trusting myself. I've navigated quite a few partnerships from small to large scale. And I've stood in a large room and had difficult conversations. So I think a part of that is I'm confident in how I can serve and how I can help. The fact that it's a magazine is kind of funky. If you would have told me that, 20 years ago, I'd be promoting a magazine. I don't know that I would believe you. But also that I'd be a military wife and have 2 little boys and live in Texas. I wouldn't have known either.
So tell me, how do you market your magazine?
Yes.
And you're going to market to the community, but also the business community to bring in your founding partners and advertisers.
Yeah. So, magazine is probably the word I try to say the least. But at the end of the day, that is what the print copy of it is. And so what I focus on is that it's digital and print media. And so we are a partner in promoting and in publications. So right now I'm only promoting it to businesses because it is distributed to our readers. It's not subscription based. So our readers are going to receive this material and then they'll come across it digitally as well. But it's completely a promotion right now to businesses. And what I'm reminding everyone is I'm industry limited. So I am in search of the best to partner with us. I want to make sure that the territory we're distributing to fits in line with their service goals and where they want to be. I want to make sure the readership type that we're targeting is appropriate for the demographic that they want. I don't want misalignment or any misdirection because I take that personally. I wouldn't want Michelle to steer someone wrong. I wouldn't want Michelle to give an incorrect recommendation. So yeah, I promote it right now because it is true. It's an extension of their media and marketing. And I personally am interested in serving the businesses that partner with me. That makes it a little easier because it's a personal investment. But yeah, I'm interviewing the right businesses that are great at what they do that really, really want to have a footprint here in the Magnolia area.
So as we start to wind down, tell me what the day in the life of Michelle looks like.
Oh, dear God. Okay, well, today started
with 2 little boys.
I was just going to say 5:30.
I know that you have got quite what you and your husband balance.
Yeah, let's see.
Between your businesses and
5:30. So the 3.5-year-old's got a big boy bed, which means he has access to getting up and not realizing that the sun's not quite up yet. So today started off with my 3-year-old waking up and me reminding him he's got to stay in his room. We talked about every dinosaur that could exist from 5:30 to 6:30. And then, my kids are fortunate right now. They do go to a great childcare facility. They're in a Montessori-based school from Monday through Friday. That is better teachings than I know my strong sets, and teaching my kids is not one of them. So they're in school during the day. And I hit the ground running. So there's a lot of networking events. It depends on if there's an event I need to attend. Right now, I'm doing quite a few interviews and prospecting. I'm actually visiting a business owner after this, going through the vetting process and seeing if it's a fit for a partnership. And it's a big push right now to the end of September. The end of September puts us in a November launch. So I am full prospecting mode right now. But I'll tell you what, clock strikes 4:15 and I'm entering back into mom mode. So we're out on 4-wheelers, we're making construction sites in the backyard. And from about 4 to 8, I am all in for those little boys. We are muddy. We are outside and sweating. Someone's tackling someone. Someone's wrestling someone at some point. We'll have like a WWE match in the middle of the living room right about 7:15. Spaghetti is likely everywhere at some point. And then as soon as it hits 8, I really try to, I try to go into a moment of gratitude and prayer and appreciation for all of the chaos. And I've been doing a really good job about winding down at night. So I shut off that mom mode whenever the littlest one goes down, start it all over the next day.
You know, I love to hear the WWE.
It's so fun.
My grandson with his daddy,
Yeah.
they love to play the
Oh, yeah.
WWE.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I grew up in a wrestling family being from the Northeast. So it won't be my husband that teaches him how to wrestle. It'll be me. So.
Well, that one I was not expecting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great, but still, that one caught me off guard.
Well,
So-
that's what's interesting about Texas is wrestling was so big up in the Northeast, and I come down here and everyone's like football and baseball. Those are the only sports that exist. But no, the little ones, they'll definitely learn. Look at a quarter round for me, or I'll show them how to get someone down, do a little takedown. We do that today. So.
Well, that is good.
Yep.
All right, Michelle, before we go into the lightning round,
Okay.
I want you to give your commercial, meaning I want you to tell people if they're interested in your magazine
Sure.
or marketing with you, talk about that, how to get in touch with you and promote yourself and your business here.
Okay. So to business owners, I would say if you have a calling that you feel, you are the best in what you do and you trust your team and your services, I would love to have a conversation with you. We are a national publication, but we're hyper local. So right now I'm looking for the best of the best in each industry to lock in for a partnership more than just print. I'm looking for partners that want to gain a following, really draw attention to the good works that they're doing in the community. And if they feel like that would be a strategic fit, I'd love to have a conversation for the businesses that are interested. For my readers that will receive this information, I hope they know they can trust me. My name is Michelle. I live in the area. If you frequent any of these businesses, you'll likely run into me. And so what I hope is when we do go to print and when we are having events, you can trust that any event that's put on by City Lifestyle is a great event to be at. Great people, great businesses, great owners will be there. And I can help those like myself who didn't have a community at first when you move here. I can help you build that community, and I can help put you in touch with really great people with whatever you need. So I hope everyone hears that they can trust me, and I'm happy to have a strategic conversation with businesses on how I can help them. I just honestly want to serve the Magnolia, Montgomery area.
So how do the businesses reach out to you?
Yep. So got to give a plug to the socials. So Instagram is at Magnolia City Lifestyle. And then citylifestyle.com/Magnolia is the website where it's got my contact information. You can directly schedule an appointment with me. And then again, Instagram is at Magnolia City Lifestyle.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to go into the lightning round.
Okay. We'll see how ready I am.
Favorite local spot in Magnolia or Montgomery?
Okay, so I do have to give credit where credit's due. Lately, I have been loving Nona's in Montgomery, which is the Wood Forest area. I hope that location continues to thrive. They've got great ownership there. They're an extension of their Woodlands location. So check out their Wood Forest location if you haven't yet. And right across the street from that is Love Coffee. Pivoting over into Magnolia, man, I have been loving Allie Ann's Kolache. Such a great family story. Her son Tommy is adorable. And Sycamore Coffee, which used to be Hebrews. So those would be my 2 plugs for Magnolia. And then for my ladies, SoCo Dry Bar. Spend an hour, take care of yourself, have somebody else wash your hair. They're doing such a great job in that space. So for all my mamas and ladies, you deserve that 1 hour at SoCo. Go get your hair washed. Those would be my plugs.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee. I need the coffee. I've got 2 boys.
One podcast, book, or resource that inspires you?
A little unfair. I've got to go to the Bible. Podcast wise, I do love Mel Robbins. She's got some great quick takes. If anyone does need podcasts, give Mel Robbins a check out. But when in doubt, just crack the spine of that Bible and the word will come to you.
Yes. One business leader that you admire and why?
I have to say, too, it's both my parents. My dad, growing up, ran a junkyard, ran tow trucks. I mean, I have pictures, I have memories, dropping the bed down and chaining a car up. My dad had the most creative ways of assembling a 4-car carrier onto a single car flatbed, which we won't talk about for insurance purposes. And my mom runs her own company as well. Both my parents, blue collar. They are up in Maryland, so I'm grateful for technology to be able to connect with them so frequently. But both of them have run businesses, flipped businesses. They still run their businesses. They don't stop working. So it's gotta be my parents.
If you had a billboard in Magnolia for 1 week, what would it say?
Jesus loves you. I think when you're moving to a new area, an area also that's finding its way, where it has, legacy, old Magnolia and new Magnolia, and everyone's trying to figure out, well, what there's so much moving and changing. If you just remember that no matter what, that there is a reason why we're here, and God loves you, and he won't give anything that you can't handle. That's what I would remind everyone.
Michelle, thank you for sharing your story, giving us an inside look into Magnolia City lifestyle. It's clear this publication will be more than just a magazine. It will be a community platform spotlighting the very best of Magnolia and Montgomery. For business ready to connect with an influent, engaged audience, becoming the founding partner seems like an incredible opportunity. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Genuine Business Stories. If you're enjoying the show, we'd love to have you consider being a sponsor or simply sharing this episode with friends or fellow entrepreneurs. And hey, if you know a business owner with a story that deserves to be heard, have them reach out to us at Lone Star Community Radio, and we just might feature them on a future episode. Until next time, keep showing up, keep building, and keep it genuine. Thank you.